Hi folks, my perspective here. I watched a very interesting clip by Owen Benjamin where Owen focused on one topic that proves that the heliocentric model is wrong. And it's a simple issue that the path of the Earth around the Sun is an ellipse. So let's listen to Owen. Now I want to illustrate some of the points that Owen made and add one or two other issues that are related to this.
Really just put the nail in the coffin of the heliocentric model. I understand that you go through the stages of grief when you realize that you've been lied to. You're gonna feel angry, you're gonna bargain, you're gonna all this stuff. I understand. This is the absolute proof. And you never have to say another thing about it. And people get so mad. I get it. You're going through grief. You're mourning grief. Ready? What people forget is that it's not a circle around the sun. Even if it was a circle, it'd still be impossible. But it's an ellipse, which means that it changes speed.
So there's a reason why your watch face is in a circle, because of speed, distance, and time. So there are 24 hours divided into perfectly equal segments. And the speed of the hour hand never changes. It's constant. That's why a watch works. If the speed of the hour hand changed, sped up and slowed down, that means hours would be longer and shorter. Seconds would be longer and shorter. All three elements, distance, speed, and time, need to be constant. Now, if we take that watch face and we elongate it into an ellipse, well, immediately you see there's a problem. The speed of the hour hand has to change. The distance between the hours and the seconds change. It simply doesn't work. And that is related to what Owen is talking about.
And unlike the evolution lie, where you can just keep adding billions of years, but the billions and billions of years, but it's 1 year. That's a fixed amount of time and a fixed amount of speed. The length of Earth's trajectory around the sun is 940 million kilometers. Thus, the Earth travels about 107,000 kilometers per hour. This means that our planet moves around the sun at an average speed of 30 kilometers per second, or Mach 88. 88 times the speed of sound. So let that sink in. Earth's speed, this is the kicker. Earth's speed is not constant as the Earth orbits elliptical orbit.
So the same principle with the watch face. There's 12 months in a year. That doesn't change.
You can break that down into any fraction you want. It's still one fixed year.
If the Earth's orbital path was in a circle, your speed and the distance you travel has to be constant. The same as a watch face. Speed, distance, and time are constant in a circle. There's no issues. But if that path is in an ellipse, there are issues.
The way an ellipse works, zoom, zoom, okay.
So the issue is, if you are on a ball, and that ball's path is in an ellipse, the time, the months stay the same. Your speed would have to change. Your speed would have to change so that the time matches and the distance matches. Therefore, you are not traveling at a constant speed. And if that's the case, you would feel it and you would know all about it.
When you're going 88 times the speed of sound and you have to change speeds, you would feel it.
Right. So you are going to get some really well-educated people who don't think and reason, and they just regurgitate the nonsense you're taught in the education system. And I'll say, well, if you're on an airplane and you're on a train, you don't feel the speed of the train. Well, that's right. The difference is that the train is not on an ellipse, and the train speed is constant. The Earth speed is not constant. So therefore you would feel it. So don't let anybody fool you with this nonsense. If you're on an airplane and that airplane slows down and speeds up, you feel it. It's not the same. The Earth's speed has to fluctuate.
You can do the math on it because the ellipse is fixed and the time is fixed.
if the Earth's orbital path around the Sun is an ellipse. It's just as simple as that.
Guys, this heliocentric model is over. The Earth changes speed going around the Sun.
So, speed, distance, and time, they have to be measured and they have to balance out. And if the Earth passes an ellipse, it does not balance. It's wrong. Therefore, the heliocentric model must be wrong. If you are on a ball on an elliptical path, what would your speed be on the surface of that ball? Your speed has to change. Even though that ball's speed is constant, you on that surface of the ball, your speed cannot be constant.
They'll get mad at me. They'll say, "You, sir, how dare you? I mean, it's so easy to understand. Even an idiot could. LOL. I mean, inertia and vortex, man, that's grief." And then they'll bargain. Well, it could be that. It just keep, and then depression. Well, what do we do now? I mean, my whole childhood. Just stop. It's not that big a deal. It's more beautiful that it isn't spinning endlessly around the sun. It's way better.
You see, the green dot is the constant speed. The gray line is your speed. You would slow down, speed up, slow down. If you're on a spinning ball, you would feel it. So speed, distance, and time have to be accurate, have to be measured. For you to have a just outcome, for there to be a righteous, just outcome that can be repeated over and over and over, speed, distance, and time have to be constant. In other words, an airplane traveling from point A to point B, if it travels there and it travels back, the speed, the distance, and the time, it's the same. That means the Earth is not moving. It's as simple as that. Think about it. What would the airplane speed be if that airplane was spinning with the Earth as the Earth spins around the Sun? The Earth's spin would affect the speed of the airplane. That airplane would have to spin, would speed up and slow down. And they do not. It means the Earth is not spinning. You've been lied to. What they're teaching you isn't righteous, it's not fair, it's not just. So what do? They warp the lines. They try and blur the lines between speed, distance, and time. They give you this Jesuit idiot puppet, Albert Einstein. He's a fraud. And they continue that fraud by saying, they'll post articles in the newspaper by saying, the mystery deepens around the newly detected ripples in space-time. Really?
So you can't do what they do in evolution. Say, well, in 20 billion years, a hurricane can just create a Ferrari. No, you can't just keep adding years. 1 year, one ellipse, change in speed.
Rome. Did Rome conquer the world because they want to make everybody's life better? They wanted to educate everybody. Or did Rome conquer the world because they're looking for slaves? Rome needed slaves. Dumbass slaves. Because otherwise Rome wouldn't have survived. And nothing's changed. The Roman system is still in power. The puppets in the front have changed. That's all. So, if these lying, murdering, thieving thugs created your education system, why on earth would you trust that education system? Why would you be shocked to find out that that education system has been misleading you? Well, when and all along it should have been obvious to you that they're going to lie to you. Bad people don't do good things. Bad people don't do things for your benefit. They do things for their benefit. It's called common sense. So I hope this video makes you stop and think. And I want to end with Owen's words because they were excellent. Owen put it in such a brilliant way.
Well, what do we do now? I mean, my whole childhood. Just stop. It's not that big a deal. It's more beautiful that it isn't spinning endlessly around the sun. It's way better. More beautiful that it isn't spinning endlessly around the sun. It's way better. More beautiful that it isn't spinning endlessly around the sun. It's way better. It's way better.